FH Sports.
Welcome to FH Sports, where we talk sports all day. We got an exciting episode for you guys today. We're talking about some NFL. We got some great games. I'm David, your co-host. This is Jeremy, your host.
What's up, FH World?
Let's go ahead and jump into our sports recap. So the first game we're going to cover in our sports recap is we have the Saints versus the Eagles. The Eagles took that game 15-12. Let's talk about it.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it, David. Let's talk about it. These past 2 weeks is not looking good for me, FH World. I don't know what. Look, let's be honest. The Saints dominated the game, but it's 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 quarters, the Saints dominated that game, led 12-0.
Right.
Philly decided to wake up, and Saquon Barkley took that game over. That after that hit on Devontae Smith, those guys rallied around and said, "You is not coming into Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, and you gonna do us like that."
Mm-hmm.
And they put up 15 straight points and took that game. And I expected the Saints with the way they played their first 2 games, averaging over 40 points a game. I didn't think they was gonna go in there and mollywop them boys or nothing like that. Now, I didn't think that. But I did think they were going to go into Philadelphia and pull that W out. But, hey, the Eagles showed that, hey, they're a tough group, and they're going to be something to be reckoned with. It was a good game all around, man. Am I upset about the loss? Yeah, because the last 2 weeks, the record just ain't looking that hot. But
the record ain't looking good at all.
It really ain't.
This week you went 1-2. Last week you went 1-2. We're gonna dive into a little bit more, but
you didn't have to throw it out there. They see that, man. It's okay though.
We're gonna show you. We'll show you guys the record towards the end of this sports recap. And then Saquon Barkley, man, he came out with 2 touchdowns. Man, he had a very efficient game. 147 yards on just 17 carries. He averaged about a little over 8 yards a carry. So even seeing him take care of the ball, they had a good balanced game. I was watching them run, man. It's just, I mean, the Saints couldn't do a whole lot. And it seemed to be a pretty even matched game, and just came down to a couple plays here or there. But Barkley, man, they just couldn't stop him at all.
I looked at the way Alvin Kamara has been playing the first 2 weeks. I wanted Saquon took this as a challenge upon himself. Because Saquon he's one of the top backs in the league. He had a couple down years where he weren't producing. It might have been the team he wasn't producing at a high level because of the team, but he just wasn't producing at a high level. Same thing with Alvin Kamara. He's a top back who wasn't producing, and he's having a bounce back year. So I wonder, if Saquon coming to this game looking like, you know what, I'm gonna show the world that I am that back. I am that running back to say, yeah, he's the guy.
Right.
And then that drop that he had against Atlanta that cost them that game. I'm pretty sure that was in his mind, but man, he come out with a vengeance. Right. And I ain't gonna say he put that team on his back, but he carried his team. Now he really did. But to me, that rallying point was the hit after Devontae Smith got hit with that. It was a dirty hit. Yes, New Orleans, it was a dirty hit. Y'all know to do some dirty hitting. But it was a dirty hit, and those guys rallied around their teammate and said, "It's time to play ball." Hey, they pulled it out. I'm kind of upset about that. Y'all hurt my record, Eagles, but hey, good win in any of the less or whatnot.
All right, so that's going to be our first game. Let's move on to our second game that we're going to recap, and this might be a little hard. The Cowboys losing to the Ravens, 28-25. What are your thoughts there, sir?
Let me tell you what my thoughts is. If you watched the video last week, Timothy, he's our visual guy. He's our editor. He does.
Oh man!
If you seen the little mouse laughing or whatever, that was him. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna do a little something this week. You're gonna see him right over here laughing at me again. But as far as the game, I don't know what's going on with Dallas. For 3 games, for 11 quarters, they have not come to play. Offense, defense, except for special teams. But the fourth quarter, those guys made a game of it. And like to have pulled it out, coulda, shoulda, woulda, closest on the counts of horseshoes.
True.
But Lamar Jackson, this is what boils down to me. Lamar throws 18 times. Prescott throws 51 times.
Jeez.
51 times. Derrick Henry has 151 yards rushing. We allowed 274 yards on the ground. There is no way Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys can look at themselves in the mirror and be proud that they even played the game. But this is what really got me about them guys. Is if you seen on the sidelines, you seen CD and Dak barking at each other. You see DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons barking at each other. To me, I think that was real childish. Because at the end of the day, those 4 guys are leaders on this team. And y'all got the nerve to be barking at each other when ain't none of you playing worth anything.
Worth your contract.
Yeah, you're really not. But for y'all to be barking at you on TV, y'all take that behind closed doors. Hash that out behind closed doors. Don't do that in front of the world because you're showing you this organization as a unit. When your top players are going back and forth with each other. But at the same time, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. Each and every one of these players on this Cowboys team need to look at themselves in the mirrors and say, are we playing up to our level? Are we playing up to our standard? If you ask me, no. The fourth quarter, they played up to it.
Yeah, we played good for one quarter.
They played good for one quarter.
What was it, 19?
19 points. Yeah, 19 points in the fourth quarter.
I mean, this game is a tale of two halves, basically. And
no, it's not even
you got to look at it. The first half, the second half.
It's a tale of
and I get right 3/4. I got you. Yeah. But it's again just kind of tale of two halves type of thing where it's first half is one team, second half is a completely different team. But I will say, listening to the comments after the game, the post game interviews, it's like there's, I've played sports before. I've never played in the professional league or anything like that, but just organized high school sports. And whenever the team isn't doing well, this frustration comes out. And, especially when you have high expectations.
Yeah.
Now, it's different if your team just sucks that year and you're just not doing well. But when you feel like you should be doing a lot better, those frustrations come out. And there's a lot of finger pointing. And so after the game, listening to some of the post-game interviews, it was a lot of what you saw on the sidelines. A lot of that carried over into the post-game interviews, just a lot of pointing fingers at each other, where in reality, everybody should just take ownership.
Yes.
And, hey, I got a responsibility. As a quarterback, your team's not doing well. Instead of talking about people being professional, just at the end of the day, your team, and you guys didn't play well as a team. So looking at it and saying, okay, we got to get better as a team. We got to execute X's and O's. We got to come out there and play with more heart. All these things you got to do better. So, for me, it was just the interviews and the sideline issues was kind of indicative of what's happening, what we're seeing on the field. They're just not gelling well together as a team.
But this is what gets me. I look at guys like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady's. When they lose, and they did lose, they took ownership of that game. And they might have played lights out. But the first thing they say is, I could have played better. Sure, I should have played better. They take ownership as it don't matter you dropped 3 passes. It don't matter you had 2 fumbles or whatever. It doesn't matter the defense played horrible. They take ownership on that game to say, hey, guys, it's my fault. I can play better.
Right.
And none of these guys are taking ownership. But to me, that all starts from the coach. And I'm not saying the coach saying, take on. But the coach has to teach. I ain't saying teach. These grown men. Right. These grown men. You shouldn't have to teach anything. Only thing they should be learning is the playbook. And they shouldn't have to learn the playbook because they know the system. They're in the system and been in the system for years. So they shouldn't have to be taught anything. But ownership, that's a manly thing. I'm not saying these guys are men, But when it comes to being between them lines and take ownership for what you done, that is something men do. And to me, that boils down from the coach. I said it, if you watched one of our earlier episodes, I said McCarthy's on the hot seat this year. I don't think he's not the coach for us. But I'm gonna throw it out there. There's gonna be a lot of upset people with me. Look, Jerry, if you can pull it for Mike Tomlin, go get Mike. We like Mike. We like Mike. We like Mike.
All right now. And last thing I want to say on the game was, I had this saved for another game that we're going to cover. But I looked at it, I said, man, is this a pretenders versus contenders type of game? And you got what we thought would be two legitimate Super Bowl teams. But based on the way they're playing, I mean, it could only be one of these is a real contender, and the other might just be a pretender. And I'm not going to call out who's who, but what I will say is that the Cowboys did have one great highlight that stood out to me, which was the kicker, Brandon Aubrey, with a 65-yard field goal. Almost the longest in history. 1 yard short of the history record, man. 1 yard short.
What's up with you and these kickers, man?
That Brandon Aubrey, man, that guy's killing it. 1 yard short, and the guy that has the record was on the Ravens kicker.
Justin Tucker.
It was that was great, man, seeing that guy. Do what he do. But anyway,
this guy's some credit. He's advocating for y'all to get them contracts.
They killing it, man. Look, you go back to our first game we covered. That was carried by field goal kickers until
I told you kickers got together this year, baby. They trying to get them contracts.
They can.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to conclude our second game. Hard, tough loss by the Cowboys against the Ravens. Let's go jump into our final game that we're going to recap. And that's going to be a blowout game. One half of his Super Bowl prediction game pick.
But I also called the upset.
Okay, but one half, I don't think you called them getting blew out, though.
No, but I called the upset.
Lose to the Vikings, 34-7. I mean, short of Sam Darnold saying, who wants a touchdown? Who wants a touchdown? Who wants a touchdown?
Boy,
4 touchdowns, 4 different receivers.
Boy, he was handing them things out like
killing it. Like, you want a touchdown? You want a touchdown?
Look, he was handing them things out like
could he have given the Cowboys a touchdown? Like, could he have given the Cowboys a touchdown? Like, they would have took one. But anyway,
we would have took a couple of things.
4 TDs, 4 different receivers. Man, it was a great exhibition. Great game by him. What do you got, sir?
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, man.
Do you think, the Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
He was expected to be their starter, right? Darnold was just a kind of backup plan. Do you think he's playing for the next team? Or do you think he's earned the right to be the Vikings starter going forward?
Well, of course, I think he's earned the right to be the starter.
Because he's only signed a 1-year deal. But
right.
Drafted
so that's the 1 year. I think we covered his contract.
Yeah, 1 year, $10 million.
Last episode. Yeah. So man. I mean, I look at it like this. If you going into the NFL, the elite of the elite, right? Different teams are going to have, or scouts are going to evaluate you different ways. Some may say, "Oh, you're a high rank for us on our team." Other teams may say, well, we'll take you, but you don't rank as high for our squad. You're a better fit in a different role, second, backup, whatever the case might be. Well, I look at it like this. If you get the opportunity, they give you a contract. You have an opportunity to go out there and play. Your part as a professional is to go out there and play. Exactly. Now, everybody else can doubt you. Everybody else can sleep on you. You know what you're capable of. And I would look at Sam Darnold, and I think we talked about this off script. It's like, hey, go out there and prove yourself like a Tom Brady, right? You get your opportunity, regardless of what everybody else is thinking. You get your opportunity and you shine. And this man is shining. Yeah. He is this 1 year deal. When he comes up for renewal, man, whether it's with the current team or somebody else drafts him, whatever that looks like, the man's going to get paid because he's playing. I'm pretty sure he's got something to prove. But at the end of the day, as a professional, you get a chance, hey, go out there and shine. That's
he was drafted by the Jets. And for the system, the players. He just didn't have a good team around him.
Mm-hmm.
So they traded him to Carolina, and let's be honest, Carolina's basically what the Jets situation is. So it ain't like he, then he went to San Fran, backed up Brock Purdy last year. Now he come to the Vikings expecting probably to be a backup, and he's come in. And if you watch any of our episodes, and if you do, we appreciate that. But we talked about it in the preseason. I said the Vikings are going to be a good team. I said Darnold finally has pieces. He finally got weapons, and this kid shows why he was the player that was coming out of USC. He was a highly talented recruit. He was a high draft pick. He's showing why he was all those things before the Jets, before the Panthers. He's showing all those things. This guy is elite. Now he's got elite weapons. He's got weapons to play with. And like you said, man, he was handing out candy like a trick or treat. I thought Justin Jefferson knocking on the door, trick or treat, touchdown. These guys were just getting out. I mean, I tell you what, man, they played good. I called that upset. Thank God I got one right this week, but good game. Great game. That defense played lights out. The way they harassed CJ Stroud, they shut that running game down. They would not let those guys get no type of offense whatsoever. And they showed it wasn't just about that offense. They got a legit defense. Right. I said they had a decent defense, but they showed me something different. That they have a legit.
I mean, the key to Texans to 7 points, man.
Yes, exactly. And they're one of the, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 6 teams right now that's 3-0. And this is a surprise team that's 3-0. All these contenders and, all these teams that you're looking at that's 3-0, there's a lot of surprise teams in there that's 3-0. For instance, the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the way, getting Justin Fields and they don't know what they're going to get out of there. Seattle Seahawks, new coach. I bet Baltimore wish they still had him right now because they defense needs him. But it's just these, they're 3-0. And then these Vikings. So it's you got the teams that you expect to be 3-0, like the Chiefs, the Bills. You expect them teams to be 3-0. Then you got these surprise 3-0 teams. But you got to give them credit at the end of the day because each and every one of these teams are balling out, and Minnesota is balling out, man, tremendously.
All right, well, Vikings, great game. Texans, try again next week. So that's going to be it for our sports recap. And before we move forward, at this point, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And let us know, if there's a team you'd like us to cover. Or let us know if he picked your team to win or lose. We're going to go ahead and show you what his record looks like at this point. He started off really hot these last couple of weeks, though. It ain't looking too hot for him. So take a look at it. Take a look at his record. Let us know if you got it wrong on your team or if you got it right. And then let us know what you'd like us to cover next. So now let's go ahead and jump into our predictions. First game we're going to cover on our predictions is we have the Steelers and the Colts. You just mentioned the Steelers. So let's go ahead and jump into that game.
Man, Justin Fields is, like I said previously, Justin Fields is playing lights out. Russell Wilson was expected to be the starter. He gets injured. Justin Fields comes in, expected to probably play a game at the most. And he's took this team over and he's playing Steeler ball. Smart with the football, running the ball, tough defense. And I think they're going to harass Anthony Richardson. They're going to harass him. TJ Watt is going to get after this kid. And I'm got the Steelers in this one.
Okay. Got the Steelers. All right. Do you expect this to be a close game or
it's going to be a close game because that's the way the Steelers are built. They're not built to go out there and score 50 points. They're built to beat you up, just burrow you over, and in the fourth quarter you so wore down, you want to go to bed because you're tired. they just beat you up.
Pound and ground, bully ball.
Bully ball, and TJ Watt comes alive in that fourth quarter. I don't know if they go give him a shot of adrenaline and, the start of the fourth quarter, but he just takes over in that fourth quarter and shows why he's an elite former defensive player of the year, why he's one of the top tier defensive players.
Right.
So they're playing Steeler ball. Everybody know the Steelers for running the ball, smash mouth, grind you down, and just wear you out in the fourth quarter and, win by 3, 6. They're not going to blow you out, but they're going to beat you up to the one you feel it. You just want to get it over with. And they pull out them wins, and I'm taking the Steelers to win this one.
All right, so it's got the Steelers over the Colts. Hey, let us know if you're in agreement with them, all you Steeler fans, or hey, Colt fans, let us know if you got something to say about it. All right, so our second game we're looking at, the Commanders and the Cardinals.
I tell you what, I was leaning toward the Cardinals.
Okay.
Until the Monday night game. But Jaden Daniels, let me tell you something. This kid played out of his mind. He throws for 2 touchdowns. He rushes for a touchdown. He misses one pass all night long. And I ain't talking about throwing the ball 5 times. I believe he threw the ball like 20 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He misses one pass the whole game. He played an efficient game. And I like I said, I was taking the Cardinals. But I tell you what, man, Washington is looking good.
Right.
The defense, granted, they gave up 35 points, against the Bengals. It was a good game through and through.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a toss-up right now. It really is.
Well, we can't have a tie.
Can't have a tie. It's got to end in one way or another, man. Don't let me down, Washington. Don't let me down. Josh Harris, Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn.
All right.
We wish we had you back in Dallas, Dan, because the defense ain't playing too good. But I'm taking Washington.
All right, going with the Commanders over the Birds.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, so our final game that we want to pick and cover. One half of who I picked to be in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs versus the Chargers.
It's an easy one.
Okay.
It's very easy. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm not taking the Chiefs by blowout. No way, form, or fashion. The reason I'm not taking the Chiefs in a blowout, the Chargers lead the league in rushing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh that's his style of game. He's in the wrong. To be honest with you, he's in the wrong division. Yeah. He should be in Baltimore with his brother in that division. I mean, cause they had the same type of man style to play. They want to run the ball, control the clock, win with defense.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback makes smart decisions. Now, don't get me wrong. Now they got a quarterback that can sling it. Justin Herbert is a top tier quarterback. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he's on that level with those other quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
He could go out and throw for 300-400 yards, but he's not asked to do that. He's asked just control the game, play within our system, don't turn it over, make plays when we ask you to make plays, and win with defense. But I just don't think this is the game that they're going to do that with.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you got Mr. Magic. You got Mr. Magic. You got the way Rice is playing right now. And Kelsey is kind of, I ain't going to say he's struggling, but they're paying so much attention to him that it's freeing everybody else. So I think Kelsey's going to come out and explode this game.
Okay.
I'm saying it right here, FH World.
All right.
Travis Kelce is going to come out and explode, and this is going to be an explosion for him. That's my guarantee. But my next guarantee is I got the Chiefs.
All right, so Chiefs over the Chargers, and just on the defensive side of things, you mentioned the Chargers having the top running game. The Chiefs they're ranked 18th on defense and rushing, so it's not in their best interest to going against a good running team. So we'll see how they hold up against that.
This is what I like about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are always ranked like mid-pack with their defense, but when you got somebody like Chris Jones, makes impacts when impacts need to be made. He might not be doing nothing the whole game. You ain't called this game. But same thing like a TJ Watt. They give him a shot of adrenaline in that fourth quarter. He takes over when it's time to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do as a team. Their offense isn't the highest ranked offense to where they scoring 50, 30 and 40 points. But they play efficient. Same thing with the defense. The defense shows up when it needs to show up.
Okay. All right. Well, Chiefs or the Chargers. That's our final prediction game. Let's go ahead and jump into our hot topic. Now, before we get into this hot topic, if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. You just heard our predictions, and let us know if you agree with them or not.
It's gonna be a better week.
Hey, he's been 1-2 the last 2 weeks. So you guys saw his record earlier. We'll see if he gets any better.
But see, thing is, my record, I pick high profile. I pick matchups. I just don't go pick this team. I pick tough games. You got to give me some credit for that, FH.
1-2 over the last 2 weeks. He's 2-4. It's a losing record to me, regardless of how you want to slice it. So, on our hot topic for the day, we're going to pick up with the WNBA. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the WNBA a little bit. So, one, we're going to jump into. They just talked about have there some a few season awards, and they're currently in their playoffs. So earlier in one of our first or second episodes, we covered the WNBA in their playoffs and some of the teams. So we're going to circle back around to that, and let's talk about some of the players, some of the awards, and the upcoming and the current playoff series that they're in as well. So let's take it away.
Man, I tell you what, A'ja Wilson, she showed why she's a dominant force, and I'm glad that Caitlin and Angel Reese, bringing all this publicity today, because she needed light shine on her game, not just her game, the league, and because these young girls have come in and brought more exposure, it's shining light on the great Diana Taurasi, A'ja Wilson, because man, she's a phenomenal player, phenomenal player, and she's getting to show how phenomenal she is. She's the first person to score 1,000 points in a season. And the league is, if I'm not mistaken, it's right at 30 years old.
Right.
And she's the first lady to score 1,000 points in the league. I believe it's her third MVP award.
Third
MVP award. And she's the second unanimous MVP award. So big shouts out to her. She's taking this game to another level that is this, man, she's doing big things. She's doing big things.
Yeah, and then also on that, we've got Rookie of the Year honors. Awards goes to Caitlin Clark. Phenomenal year. I mean, leading the league in assists. I mean, then she's a threat behind the three-point line. Scoring, she's like the second leading scorer on her team. So all around, great player. Hustles on defense. She reminds me of and I hate to compare it to the NBA, but a lot of people kind of make it's just an easy comparison. It reminds me kind of like Gary Payton a little bit.
Yeah, scrappy.
Yeah,
that defense. Yeah, she.
That's what she reminds me of, man. I just thought about that.
Yeah,
like
she the new glove.
Right. I mean,
she the new glove.
I mean, she's on it, man. So awesome for her. The rookie of the year award, definitely well deserving. And so Caitlin Clark, we have on that. And then anything that you want to shout out as far as Caitlin Clark?
As far as Caitlin Clark, we knew what we were going to get when she come into the league. But I'm going to be honest with you. If Angel hadn't got hurt, would it have been co-rookie of the year? Or would she not have even won it? Because Angel was dominating. I mean, she weren't scoring as many points. But her rebound and her defense, did that injury kind of give it to Caitlin? That's what I'm curious of.
Got it.
But at the end of the day, she still earned it.
What?
She took her team to the playoffs that haven't been to the playoffs since 2016.
Right.
I mean, she's brought new viewership, but that's not the reason she won it. She won it because of what she does when she steps
when she's on the floor.
Yeah.
That's it. And even the conversation of as far as rookie, who could have been, whatever. I will say it's at least it's good for the league seeing that you have that type of high caliber players as rookies. That one, they're bringing that type of attention to the game. Two, they excel when they're on the court, and then three, it could be a toss up or there could be a legitimate argument for one over the other. But that type of excitement they're bringing to the game, it creates a sense of seeing the WNBA game continue to elevate. It's been a good game. Now they're packaging a good product that people want to see, and just having high talent like that on the court means that we have something to look forward to year in and year out, game in and game out for the next several years with the WNBA.
Man, I look at it like this, and you know how you don't like to compare the NBA. Sure. This is what I look at it like this. Back in the 80s, when the NBA wasn't what the NBA was, and their finals were tape delayed, which means it wasn't even live. Magic and Bird come in. I mean, you had good players before they come in, but Magic and Bird come in and took the game to another level. Then you get Jordan and Hakeem and all these other players throughout the 80s, and they take the game to another level during the 90s. The game, the WNBA was a good game.
Got it.
They had good players. They weren't getting that kind of recognition. You get no pun intended. You get Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese come in, take the game to another level. So I wonder if there's a Michael Jordan get ready to come in.
Or it could already be in.
Yeah, or could, I mean, or could it?
Who knows?
Well, I tell you what, Asia's playing like she is the Michael Jordan. She's playing like, these kids. I'm 3-time MVP.
3-time.
2-time champion. Don't. These kids ain't. They ain't there yet.
Right.
So but I'm just curious. I'm just wondering on that because they some young ladies that's coming up. Is gonna be coming into the draft like Paige Beckers, for instance. She's got a teammate Rutgers. If I'm pronouncing your name right, if I'm not, I apologize. But she's a dominant player. You got a couple girls at South Carolina. I mean, I'm just wondering. I'm looking at the NBA before the NBA is what it is, and you get Angel and Kaylin coming in, and is there Jordan coming in behind them?
Okay.
Or is Asia saying no, I am Jordan? So just big shouts out to all these women, man.
Yeah, and then so that's a very good thought to have, and we'll continue to see because the games continue to elevate. So not only is it just that more attention is put on the game, but the skill set, like you said, to score 1,000 points to be the first one to do that.
I didn't even give a shout out to Portland. Portland's got to prove the franchise.
Okay.
To go with Golden State and Toronto.
Got it.
So the league's expanding by 2027, if I'm not mistaken. They'll be added three new teams in the league. Good. So big shouts out to Toronto and Portland for getting franchises.
Good. That growth is good for the league. For the playoffs, just really quick, we've got a couple of games. We've got New York Liberty versus Atlanta Dream going on. Then we have the Minnesota Lynx and Phoenix Mercury, and Kinetic Sun versus Indiana Fever. Definitely have some high aspirations for a Fever. I'm looking forward to them trying to maybe pull off a upset. And then the Aces versus the Seattle Storm. So
come on, Liberty! I picked y'all to win it this year.
So that's your WNBA playoffs as they stand currently. Be sure to tune into those games. It's an exciting season, exciting playoff season that's happening. And we'll definitely keep you guys up to date. We'll recap and preview some of their games as well later in some of our upcoming episodes. So outside of that, we want to go ahead and jump into our final thoughts before we let you guys out of here. What do you have for us?
Man, final thought is I want to switch. I'm going to switch sports altogether. We don't talk about Major League Baseball much, but we talk about contracts a lot. And Shohei Ohtani. We talked about it in a previous episode. He was the 6th player ever in Major League history to join a club. That wasn't good enough for him. He said, I'm going to be the first player to join a club, the 50-50 club. Yeah. Major League Baseball is it's been around since the 20s. Probably longer than that, where you had Satchel Paige, Babe Ruth, Ty Cobbs, Barry Bonds, the Willie Mays, all these great players, Hall of Fame players. that never done what this guy is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing it after he got his money.
Yeah.
After he got his big contract, he's playing up to his contract is saying. And he's not even started pitching yet. So his contract is based off his pitching and his hitting. Mm-hmm. Well, he said, I can't pitch for y'all this year, so I'm gonna do this for you. Mm-hmm. And he has joined, the first player ever to join the 50 club. And he's showing why he's worth what he got. He didn't get it because this guy got there. He got it because he earned it. Mm-hmm. When he come into the Angels organization, he put up big numbers. He had already won MVPs. They weren't a postseason team because he didn't have a good team around him. So he goes to the Dodgers, and he just didn't get his money and just, all right, well, I got paid now. I'm gonna play a little bit. Nah, he's playing. He's leading his team to the playoffs, to a championship team. And he's the best player on a championship team. Speaks volumes to him as a player to come into a new situation. And, just figuring his teammates out, learning, different things, the organization, to come in and put the type of season he's put up. I want these NFL guys to open their eyes and understand what these contracts mean. Mm-hmm. It's not about the money. It's about these fans. And his fans are looking at him saying, money well spent. Because the contracts that these NFL guys is money not well spent. So congratulations, Shohei Ohtani. First player ever in the 50-50 club. You're probably going for 60-60 next year. There ain't no telling. But big shouts out. Congratulations on that, man.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. So that's going to be it for our episode of FH Sports today. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.
All right, FH World.
FH Sports.